Shareholder approach versus stakeholder approach is a contentious topic these days, the assumption being that the two are at odds. The conventional wisdom has been that firms' managers should take decisions in the best interest of shareholders, the shareholder approach, even though sometimes the consequences of these decisions may be detrimental to other stakeholders such as employees, customers, and society at large. However, investors, customers, regulators, and civil society are now becoming more and more interested and vocal about environmental, social, and governance or ESG issues, which has brought the stakeholder approach into focus. BlackRock is one of the largest asset managers that exercises considerable influence on the corporate policies and actions. BlackRock's CEO says that firms should address questions about how they serve their full set of stakeholders, such as environmental issues, disclosing the diversity of a firm's workforce, the sustainability of its supply chain, or how well it protects customer data. Nielsen Global Survey also highlights that more than 70% of millennials are willing to pay a premium for sustainable offerings. In response, firms have been continuously increasing their ESG efforts and disclosures. However, we do not fully understand the financial consequences of these ESG efforts. While there is anecdotal evidence that banks consider ESG policies of the borrower when making lending decisions, we do not have a clear picture of the impact of ESG disclosures on bank lending. In this study, we investigate how banks modify the pricing and the number of covenants in their debt contracts in response to firms' ESG disclosures. This is an important question as debt contracts are complex negotiated instruments that, in addition to interest rates and other fees, also include many non-pricing terms such as covenants, loan amount, loan tenor, and collateral. Covenants are restrictions that banks put on managers to control their wasteful expenditures, whereas interest rates are reflective of the borrower's default risk. We collected ESG disclosure scores from Bloomberg and lending terms of debt contracts for the S&P 1500 firms between 2009 to 2021 for this study. We use the interest spread as our measure of loan pricing and the number of financial covenants, general covenants, and total covenants as measures of non-pricing debt contract terms. Interestingly, our paper is the first to consider the relationship between the loan covenants and ESG disclosures. We find that higher ESG disclosures significantly improve the terms of the debt contracts for the borrowers. Firms with more ESG disclosures get better terms on their loans. That is, they're able to negotiate lower interest rates and have lesser number of restrictions in their debt contracts. The study demonstrates that there are positive consequences of increased ESG efforts and disclosures that extend beyond stock markets to bank lending. The borrowing firm can potentially negotiate more favorable pricing and non-pricing lending terms, resulting in substantial savings in interest expenses running into millions of dollars. This means that there are significant tangible benefits that accrue to shareholders as well. Therefore, the stakeholder approach and shareholder approach may not always be at loggerheads.